It is 12 noon. Welcome back to Reaction Monday. This is Three-Man Front on Jocks. Pat Landrum, Molly Conrad with you until 2 o'clock. Catching up on a couple of headlines before we head down to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Earlier this morning, it became official, at least from their athletic directors, that Florida State, as of this moment, and Wisconsin, both their athletic directors came out in support of their current head coaches, that Mike Norvell down in Tallahassee, and of course Luke Fickell there in Madison, Wisconsin, that those coaches, at least during the regular season, seem to be okay. Their programs, their athletic directors will take a look at them after the season. We hope to hear from Hugh Freeze at 1:30. Bill Clark will join the show at 1. We heard a little bit of Scott Strickland make an announcement earlier this morning about trying to finish the year strong, naming their interim coach, Gonzalez, who has been on staff there for a very long time. So now let's go to Tuscaloosa, where there's not any coaching drama, at least for this week, as Kalen DeBoer coming off the big win against the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, just wrapping up Tennessee. A lot of what I felt after the game, just a resilient effort again by our guys, sticking together, playing, just good all-around team football. It's never perfect. It's hard to be when you're playing a good team like we had with Tennessee. And so just making plays at the right times, especially in the red zone, were really critical. 4 for 4 touchdowns on our end, holding them to 2 out of 5. So just critical moments. I thought our guys really did a nice job of stepping up. So just got to sustain the focus, sustain the edge that we have another week. And we know that's what it is in the SEC. You got to go on the road to a great environment, South Carolina, and face a team that I think when you look at defensively, just really stout and has a lot of dynamic playmakers, and offensively has the explosive players there to make big plays. They've shown that, and just have come up short in a few games, and so it's going to be a battle. We understand it's going to take 4 quarters of great effort like we've had.
Thanks, Coach. Start with Chase on the left side.
I want to ask you about defending Lenore Sellers at South Carolina. Obviously, he's not only athletic, but he's big, he's strong, he can break tackles. It's a little bit different dynamic when the quarterback can run through a solo tackle, right?
Yeah, watched a cut up this morning with the defensive staff, and there's just one play after the other, and there was more. We didn't even need to see it all because the point was very clear, and we got to make sure our guys continue to rally. We've faced, running backs and guys that are tough to bring down, but this guy touches the ball every single play, and so you can get to him. That's one thing, but you also now got to get him down, and it's not going to be just one. It's got to take multiple guys, rallying, coming from different directions. He's got the speed, he's got the size, and he's just he's super strong, and he's a relentless player. He fights for every yard he can get.
Go to Charlie on the far right.
You mentioned in your opening just sustaining an edge. The fact that you guys have played 4 ranked teams in a row, and now you play a team that's kind of struggling, for lack of a better word. How do you keep guys locked in this week?
Just, I think you always draw on the experiences, and the moment we're in right now, there is momentum. There's things that we're doing well. There's things that I know our guys have as far as goals individually as a team that we haven't even come close to reaching yet. And so taking those experiences from the past, good and bad, that we've been through, understanding that it comes down to our preparation, and just locking in what we control, and that's what's got us to this point where every game means so much, and we gotta tomorrow morning come with the edge that we have had, and I expect that from our guys.
Let's go to Katie on the left.
Y'all talk a lot about winning the turnover margin. You obviously had kind of the bigger turnover play with Sabian's pick 6 on Saturday, but kind of what was the teaching point for the fumble on offense and just nobody going and getting the ball?
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. We showed that both in my team room, and it's a team thing too. It was called a safety, right, when we got to Tennessee's quarterback, but I loved how our guys went right to the ball. And then there was another play where it was a throw, and I know I'm trying to remember who caught it, but it was an incomplete pass but I remember seeing Isaiah Horton sprinting towards the ball, trying to land on it. And, I love that effort, but we definitely were not aware of the situation and need to be better in that moment to not give field position up like we did there on that play. Until the whistle blows, you got to keep playing.
Go to Nick, front right.
Yeah, you talk about the edge that you guys are playing with, preparing with. How has emotion played into that, both from the players and from you?
Yeah, playing home games and the energy and rivalry, you could feel it. You could feel it certainly the morning and the walkthroughs and things like that. We got to make sure that we understand, how that we're going to be walking into an environment that will get on you in a hurry if you don't bring your best. And the preparation, again, just the investment of time and the investment of your energy throughout the week, leading to a confidence and an excitement to go out there and make plays and to be our best. I still challenge the guys, and they believe it, that the world hasn't seen Bama's best yet. And, that's really what we're striving to do. And when you keep it just really as simple as possible on that, have great preparation, and everyone caring about what we're trying to accomplish, you have that edge. And so we got to stack another week of work, one day at a time, and be ready to go on Saturday.
Let's go to the middle of the room, Emily Grace.
Coach, you just said it, that the world hasn't seen Bama's best quite yet. To know that that's the mindset as you're sitting halfway through conference play, what does that do for you and this team to know that you still have so much that you can improve on?
Yeah, it's why we're going to go to work tomorrow, and our coaches just always trying to find new ways to put our guys in better spots, and it's constantly evolving, right? Constantly changing because it's a different opponent and it's different strengths that we're going to face. And so, different position groups on offense, defense, special teams are all going to be put to the test differently than they were last week, and might be similar to a few weeks ago, with your position group. But be better and help bring others with you emotionally, and we can continue to raise our game physically. I think there's a toughness about us in all ways, but it's going to be a physical test this week. Both sides of the ball needing to match up against South Carolina.
Go to Colin on the front left.
Hey, Kalen. How much, input do you have when it comes to, first drive scripting? Do you talk it through with Ryan Grubb, and what does that look like in terms of scripting those first 12, 15 plays, and then what maybe even ties input in that as well?
Yeah, you bet. I let them throughout the week. They're gonna really know what they're comfortable with, and usually Thursday we get to the point where Coach Grubb and the offensive staff have an idea, a really strong idea, and put a play bank together. I know he's going to really probably talk with Ty in particular, making sure that he feels all good with everything, and if there's anything he's concerned about, and usually you can feel that as the week goes on. I can see what that looks like on the call sheet, feel comfortable with myself. I always like to know what's early, but I don't press on him because I know as a play caller over many years, you might change your mind until kickoff. And so again, I kind of have an idea of what the bank is of plays. It's on our call sheet, but not necessarily in a particular order. And just kind of checking off and making sure during the course of the game that those are the plays that we felt best about, that we're getting them called. And trust the rhythm, trust the prep that Coach Grubb's put in, and seeing the adjustments, maybe the changes in the way it presents itself that might be different than when we worked on. But they're so thorough, they're so detailed. Ryan's just dialed in on all those situations, and understanding probably as much as anything, what are the third down calls, what are the fourth down calls, what are the plays in the red zone when we get in those moments where you got to decide, it's 4th and 2, and what are we going to do, and having an idea of kind of the 1 or 2 calls that might be next on the call sheet. So I really let them work through it, but I can see later in the week, by Friday for sure, of what really that's probably going to be when it comes to our openers. So.
Let's go to Jamie on the front right.
Hey, Coach, you guys continue to win, which means the target on your back only gets bigger. And no matter who you play, it seems teams are going to always play up. Fans are going to be extra hyped to play you guys. So my question is, how do you carry the energy from a big home win like Tennessee on the road in a hostile environment this week?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's their homecoming too. And so, you're just trying to find every way and everything to present a challenge to our guys, and what they're up against. And I think, again, going through the experiences we've had together, our guys understand we are going to get everyone's best shot.
Let's go to Joe, left side.
Coach, going back to the emotions of the game, what have you seen from James Smith emotionally and this season, and how do you channel him to more consistency, as Kane Womack said a minute ago?
Yeah, I really, when you think big picture from a year ago to now, I love the energy and just there's a personality and there's a connection that I feel with him, and I feel like our relationship is really good. There's been moments, and he had one where he hit the quarterback late, and I know how much he cares. I see it, and he's as soon as he was back there talking to me, owning up to it, and knowing he messed up. And so it's just a matter of learning from that. And I feel when people do care like he does, they'll be better because of it. And so that doesn't mean you don't have consequences that come along with the penalties in that particular case, like we have in our program. And so he owns up to that, takes care of those consequences, and we move on.
Hey, Coach, what do you think has cost your team in some of these road games versus unranked opponents, and how do you try to avoid that this week?
I'm sorry, I was trying to
No,
find
you're
you
okay.
first, and so what was the first part?
Yeah, so some of these road games against unranked opponents that you guys have lost, what do you think has cost your team in those games, and then how do you try to avoid that with this one this week?
I think there's different reasons. I think there's been times where neither side of the ball could really overcome and the momentum swings, and it just built on itself. I think starting games quickly, at least one side of the ball, starting and getting stops or putting a score on the board. But I think a lot of it is just execution in critical moments, converting a third down when it's really loud on the first drive of the game, or, getting the ball in the end zone, or getting a big stop. Those things are the things that you need to have. And then as the game goes on and it is close, again, I talked about critical moments. I said it all off season, be great in the critical moments. And that's really, there's been some close games, and, in critical moments, critical moment doesn't always mean the fourth quarter. It could be at the end of the second quarter, and getting a stop and finding a way to put it in the end zone yourself as the clock's running out. So be great in those critical moments. And that does different things for different sides of the ball, staying on the field offensively, converting, and, making them line up and play another snap defensively, because I really feel like, when our fight is there as a team, I think, again, the experiences we've been through, it's added to a resiliency, it's added to a belief, it's added to a consistency, and a toughness, again, mental, physical, and emotional, that our team really is counting on each other to get the job done. Thank you. Yep, roll tide.
Kalen DeBoer, his press conference there from Tuscaloosa. We got Alabama and South Carolina coming up this weekend at Williams-Brice. 2:30, the ABC game. Alabama, a 13.5-point favorite, currently according to Vegas. Last time Alabama lost to South Carolina, they're in Columbia. That would have been 2010. If you remember, Alshon Jeffrey, he had him a day. Steven Garcia, he wasn't bad. I will say this for our teammate Greg McElroy. He threw for 315 yards. He was 27 of 34.
He had a good day.
Had 3 touchdowns. It was not Greg's fault.
No.
He had to stop. Well, he did take 7 sacks.
It wasn't his fault.
But it wasn't. He can't block.
No.
What's he supposed to do?
Unless there were coverage sacks.
It wasn't G-Mac's fault.
No. It's halftime of the kickoff sales event at Courtesy GMC right now. Get up to $15,000 off remaining 2025 Sierra 1500s and 2500s. The absolute lowest prices in Alabama. The all-new 2026 Sierras, they're rolling in daily. And for a limited time, they're marked at 2025 model year pricing. And remember, every new GMC at Courtesy comes with the exclusive 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Get by and see them off of I-459, exit 32 in Trussville. Visit their online inventory at courtesybirmingham.com.
We have got a ton of text from you, whether it's Auburn and Hugh Freeze, whether it's Alabama College Football Reaction Monday. It's always fun. We'll get to those texts as we continue here on the Monday edition, a 3-man front on your home for college football and coaches getting hired and fired. Jocks.
It is 12:18. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front on Jocks Reaction Monday, 1-800-239-WJOX. So many of you have fired in on the Courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450. Also, the phone lines at 1-800-239-WJOX. You just heard Kalen DeBoer as his Alabama Crimson Tide. They get ready to go to South Carolina. And speaking of South Carolina, Mike Shula, the former head football coach of the University of Alabama, he is the offensive coordinator there for Shane Beamer in South Carolina. And man, oh man, things were not looking good at all on Saturday. Lenore Sellers, a projected NFL first-round pick, finished with only 124 yards passing. Mike Shula, as the offensive coordinator, they only had 224 yards of total offense on the entire day. Granted, they were playing Oklahoma, one of the best defenses you're going to find anywhere in college football, but they only managed 224 yards. Now, this has been a theme for most of the season for South Carolina, has been their offense. And if you start looking at the conference statistical data, when it comes to scoring offense in the SEC, South Carolina, they are dead last. In passing offense, South Carolina is 14th. By the way, Auburn is dead last in that category. You're looking at rushing offense in the SEC, South Carolina, dead last. So you're seeing the theme develop here. Mike Shula is under immense pressure at the University of South Carolina, to the point to where after the game on Saturday, take a listen to this exchange between Shane Beamer and the local media there in Columbia.
Shane, in the middle here, it's 7 games now. The offense has just continued to struggle. At some point, do you feel like a change is needed, whether it's...
I made a change last week, Jack.
I'm talking about the play calling.
Every week we're continuing to look at how to be better, and every week I do that. And every week I will continue to do that and continue to evaluate that.
What gives you hope that the play
Next
calling...
question.
Okay.
What gives me hope? I see the way we practice during the week. What gives me hope? I see the number of guys that we had out today that I wasn't even sure was going to be able to play, that fought their asses off to get back out there and get healthy and be able to play today. What gives me hope? I know the talent we have on our offense. And what I just told our team, we're not playing up to our potential right now. I am not getting the most out of this team right now, offensively, defensively, and special teams.
So that was Shane Beamer taking exception to the question about the offensive play caller, which is Mike Shula. He was referring to firing their offensive line coach the week before.
Yeah.
Leading into the game.
I just, as a fan, would prefer have Shane Beamer say that in the way that he said it. And if they're saying the same thing, but just it's a fired up coach, he's pointing the finger at himself, and he's taking the blame. And that's where ultimately the blame falls. But I appreciate Shane Beamer for saying that.
So that was right after the heat of the moment. That was right after the game against Oklahoma. Yesterday afternoon, he doubled down, and they asked him again about Mike Shula, and he said that Mike Shula is obviously he understands the business. He was the head coach at the University of Alabama, where he was scrutinized and then ultimately fired as the head coach at his alma mater. He also was a longtime coordinator in the NFL. Took his team to the Super Bowl. They lost as the offensive coordinator. He obviously grew up in a house that was filled with pressure because of his father, Don Shula, and his brother, who was also a coach in the NFL. But let me just point this out to you, how bad South Carolina's offense has been. Every single day on this radio show, we take calls and texts and talk about how bad Auburn's offense is. Auburn is currently averaging 335 yards per game as the 15th best offense in the SEC. Yeah, there's 16 teams. South Carolina is dead last behind Auburn. Auburn is gaining 38 more yards a game in total offense than South Carolina does.
Ooh.
South Carolina does not even average 300 yards of offense per game.
And how much are they paying Lenore Sellers to play quarterback there?
I was told.
It's a lot.
I was told that Auburn made him a significant offer in the offseason.
Yes.
That was the number one target for Auburn, was Lenore Sellers. And South Carolina ponied up and kept him.
By the way, I think he was also the number one target for Miami.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he had his options.
Yep.
But in the pecking order of Hugh Freeze wanted Lenora Sellers first. And he stayed at South Carolina. They pivoted to Jackson Arnold.
What do you think the point total will be while we're on this? Auburn and Kentucky. What's the Vegas point total? 19?
I mean, legitimately, like 30.
It'd be in the 30s.
36, 37. Honestly.
I'm just looking ahead a little bit.
So Auburn is averaging 23.6 points per game for all their games this year. All their games.
That's with 38 in the opening win over Baylor. That's with 31 over South Alabama. And that's with 42 padded in there to Ball State. Maybe they'll get in the 20s against an SEC opponent this weekend.
Well, if they don't, they're probably not beating an Arkansas team that is very poor defensively and firing on all cylinders offensively right now.
So Auburn at home is averaging 25 points per game. On the road, 21.7. In conference play, they're averaging 13.5 points per conference game. 37 versus non-conference. FBS opponents are averaging 23.6 points against FBS winning teams, 18.4.
Text line is open. 205-834-9450. Taylor says, want your opinions. What do you think will ultimately happen with Auburn? If they do make a move with all the other job openings, who do you think they realistically get? I'm voting for John Summerall right now, head coach of Tulane, former head coach at Troy. I think his conference record overall between the two stops now after the win over Army on Saturday, 24-3. I think you'll see Rhett Lashley's name. If the job comes open, his name will be mentioned. Jimbo Fisher, if he's still out there, he's still got some ties to Auburn. He will. I don't know if there would be mutual interest, but I could see Jimbo putting his name in there.
So I think some people would ask, okay, so John Summerall would be maybe a candidate. What about Alex Golish? Because I think a lot of people still enamored with what South Florida did early in the year. Do you think Alex Golish would be under consideration for that job?
I don't.
Okay. Because I think a lot of people would say, well, if Summerall is, then why wouldn't Golish? But
Right. I do not. Don't know the reasons why, but no, I've not heard his name mentioned at all. But thank you for the text coming in. Have I missed the Bama hater meltdown call? I wouldn't call it a meltdown.
He's calling.
He's upset with Mario.
He was professional.
He's calling for Mario Cristobal's head.
I don't think, did he mention Alabama at all in that phone call? I don't think
No.
he did.
Nope. Let's see. This one says, I would like to know if any of you preseason picked Auburn to beat Oklahoma, Texas A&M, or Georgia. I'm sure none of you. Now that they lost, you calling for the coach's job. I actually thought that they would get a split. I'll tell you my predictions. I thought that they would split. They would get one over A&M or Oklahoma, and I thought that they would get Missouri. For the rest of the folks on the show, I have no idea.
I mean, I had them 9th in the SEC, I think, in my preseason. So
I thought they would have won, like you, Landrum, between Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Georgia. I thought they would won at least one game out of those three.
This one rolls in. Hugh Freeze is the perfect coach for Auburn. He's a con artist. Perfect fit with the Auburn family. Thanks for the text. Why no talk about Clark Lee at Auburn? I don't know.
It's another guy that I think will get a lot of buzz, and I think, we've been talking about the Florida job too, and heck, I don't know, maybe Auburn as well. I think Eli Drinkwitz is somebody that's probably going to be brought up in a lot of conversations, especially with how good Missouri's looked the last 3 years.
Jimmy says, as a Bama fan, I say keep Coach Freeze. He's great for Auburn. But real talk, even Brian Harsin had stones. Dylan says, Ole Miss will always fall short because Lane Kiffin can't win big games. Got another one in Norman this weekend. He also wanted to get everyone's opinion on the Alabama player trying to smoke a cigar on the field after the game. They made him return to the locker room.
Yeah, I think that was Janze Pierre. I saw that they made him go back in the locker room, but I don't know why, because I saw the offensive lineman taking pictures with the cigars on the field, so I don't know what that was about.
This one reads, I would happily have James Franklin at AU. He can start next week. Oh, yeah, that's another one you might hear if the job comes open, his name, if he hasn't already gotten a job.
I think you'd hear that for Auburn and Florida, probably.
Someone texting in, I'm so glad UAB played better and got the win on Saturday. Yeah, that makes all of us. Unless you're a Memphis fan. Reminder that 7 games into the season, the Auburn Tigers have a total of 5 passing touchdowns. 5, says one of our listeners.
Let's see.
Did not think it would look like this.
No.
Yeah, only Kentucky is worse with 4. South Carolina's got 5 along with Auburn. The only difference is that South Carolina has 5 interceptions to go along with those 5 touchdown passes. I mean, they have been extremely anemic.
But guess what? They found a way to win some football games.
Yeah, they did do that.
Fanboy says, hopefully nobody takes Ryan Grubb.
I think the only thing you would have to worry about with Ryan Grubb is going back to the NFL.
No, he doesn't want to. Hates it.
Are you his spokesperson now?
Yes.
I was unaware of that. Did not see the press release.
It'll come down this afternoon.
Okay.
He's very happy here.
Would Bill Clark go to Auburn? I guess if he had a reason to. Go down, enjoy walking the campus, maybe a little lemonade.
Little Sweet Frog?
Sweet Frog. Go say hey to Rob Pate. Would Lane risk not getting Alabama job to jump to Florida?
Well, here's the problem with the Florida job for Lane Kiffin. What if Lane Kiffin beats Oklahoma on Saturday and their team is going to be favored in every other game after that, which means they would only have 1 loss, be in the conversation to either be in Atlanta or be in the college football playoff? That presents a problem for Florida trying to hire him. Now, if he loses in Norman on Saturday, then that kind of opens things up, in my opinion.
Also, it doesn't look like and things can change on a dime, as we know. Don't think the Alabama job's coming open in the next year or so.
I agree. We will continue with your text and your calls. Bill Clark will join us at 1 o'clock. And about an hour from now, Hugh Freeze. All that straight ahead on 3-Man Front. You know, we continue our coach watch across college football. You had one guillotine fall down in the swamp as Billy Napier was shown the door yesterday afternoon. It appears there has been a stay of execution for that of Mike Norvell at Florida State and Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. A lot of people are asking the question about Brian Kelly. I can't wait for you to mention this to our good friend Mike Griffith tomorrow, Landrum, because he likes to chastise us because we brought up Brian Kelly's name.
Oh, he's going to get out in front of it. I guarantee you he opens up with that.
You think so? Now, we'll say this. Our friend of the program, Matt Moscona, I was watching his podcast as soon as LSU got beat by Vanderbilt, and he says they will not fire Brian Kelly.
Was it in the tone of
money. No, it's too much money. It's not like he's going to be fined like you're getting from the Auburn people. This is like they're not paying him off. Now, if Brian Kelly decides that he just wants to go do something else, then LSU wouldn't stop him. But they are not firing him.
But was it in the tone of they wish they could get rid of him, but they just can't because of the money? Or is it we're overreacting to a second loss?
He came to LSU to win a national championship.
He did.
He left Notre Dame, who has played for a national championship since he left.
They have.
And you can prop him up all you want to about those ridiculous numbers at nighttime, only losing one game, and that was to Alabama. But for you to lose 2 games already, and now you've got Texas A&M this week, and then you got to go to Alabama in 2 weeks? And don't they have Oklahoma on their schedule too?
Yep.
Ooh.
And the 3 coaches that preceded you all won national championships.
Yeah. When Ed Orgeron and Les Miles has national championship banners hanging up at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, Brian Kelly's a better coach than them.
No question.
But it's not.
It's not happening.
Who's your best win?
I mean, that Clemson wins nothing now.
Is it Florida or South Carolina?
Southeast Louisiana.
I mean, it's probably Florida. And Clemson and Florida have the same record now, right? 3-4.
But to answer your question, I think that if they could, keep in mind they went all in on this roster. Like you've got a 5th-year quarterback that will be gone. Everybody on that roster, they're mercenaries.
Oh, they spent more money on the defense than anybody else. They have the highest paid defensive coordinator in the country.
Right now, if you ask me to predict their final record, 7-5.
Ooh, I was going 8-4. Wow, 7-5. But yeah, I mean, what
you think they're going to beat Alabama and Tuscaloosa?
No, I don't. I think that their best chance would be this weekend.
Texas A&M.
I think this would be their best.
And I just read at his press conference this morning, I think Brian Kelly was talking about a couple of guys that will not play in the game against Texas A&M due to injury. I think some linemen, if I saw this correctly. They did score 24 points on Saturday, which is the most against an FBS opponent this year.
By 1 point, yeah.
They had 325 yards of offense.
Did you see?
They also attempted 4 field goals.
Did you see where Vanderbilt, after the game, they put a warning sign on the LSU locker room that you might hear, essentially warning about Brian Kelly getting fired off or pissed off in the post-game press conference? Because you remember last year him banging on the table and causing all the problems. They had to put a warning up for loud noises that might come out.
The only thing that makes this worse than what's going on offensively at Auburn is that you had Garrett Nussmeier coming back, directing that offense, and everything seemingly in place.
Yeah.
He did look healthier on Saturday. I will say that. He looked better.
Landrum, I remember July 19th, 2022. I remember it like it was yesterday. July 19th, 2022. Because you and I were standing right there when we heard Clark Lee say, we know in time Vanderbilt will be the best football program in the country. I remember that on July 19th, 2022. I also remember our teammate, Conrad Van Order, absolutely laughing, mocking, making fun of Clark Lee and his family. He had just gotten that big contract extension, and he comes out and he says that at SEC Media Days. And Conrad, we had to say, Conrad,
embarrass the whole group.
Absolutely. Take it easy. Clark Lee is a good man. He's a good football coach.
And if Clark says it,
you should believe it.
You should believe it.
And here we are. They're a top 10 team, Conrad. Who's laughing now?
Yeah, who's laughing now, Conrad?
Me, because we beat them.
Who was
But
we?
1 out of 2.
Who was we? He was we.
I had the pads on Saturday, Landrum. Do you not see me number 42 on the defensive line? Had 3 sacks in the first half. Thank you very much. No, I was wrong about Clark Lee.
I mean, you were
I was right
mocking
about
him.
Arch Manning, though.
All right. I will speak for the group. We were all wrong about Clark Lee. Even you, Pat. You were
Everybody
wrong too.
that
I don't
covers the
remember that.
Southeastern Conference was wrong about.
I don't remember that conversation.
He's got a very nice family. And on top of that, it turns out he's a very good football coach that can even win at Vanderbilt.
He is, and again, I know that we talked about it before the season when that documentary came out on Netflix. I really do think now, especially, it's worth going back and finding the Vanderbilt episode and getting a better understanding of what Clark Lee is like behind closed doors. That's a leader of men.
Yeah.
I have been super impressed with the job that he has done.
Would you
Incredible job.
Would you let Pharaoh go play for him?
Absolutely. I'd go play for him. I'd run through a brick wall for that guy.
So who was the chick next to Diego Pavia in the post-game interview on the field? Was that his girlfriend?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I had his arm around her, and like while he was doing the interview,
I don't know.
a lot of media was ticked off because afterwards, Diego Pavia was not available for media.
I did see that, and somebody said, is he hurt or is he hammered?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like his girlfriend or whoever, his significant other, he had his arm around her, and she actually said something during the interview.
Oh, yeah.
The post-game interview.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the video right now. It's not his mom.
No, it is not his mom.
Yeah, I don't know.
My brick wall coaches that I have, it's kind of like my Mount Rushmore. PJ Fleck is still number 1. And I know we don't say that too loud, but what an impressive win over Nebraska. But also,
Why can't you say that loud?
I was trying not to disturb Molly. I'm just being nice. I could say it loud. I just chose not to. And then Clark Lee would be next.
Yeah.
Matt Rule, is his name still buzzing?
That boat got rowed.
Is his name still buzzing?
I
for Penn
don't
State?
hear Matt Rule's name a lot now after Minnesota took him to the woodshed the other night.
6 points.
Yeah. Dana Holgerson doing a bang-up job there in Lincoln.
See, it can always be worse, Auburn fans. Could have scored 6 and lost.
I'm telling you, to tie this all together, I brought it up last week. Brian Kelly's going to go to Penn State. That's his parachute out of Baton
Who goes to
Rouge.
LSU?
Lincoln Riley.
All right, I've been told that is Diego's sister. I just assumed. Listen, I didn't.
No, I know.
I just assumed that it was his girlfriend.
That would have been a safe assumption.
Just like if I saw an interview on the field back in the day of Johnny Manziel with a girl standing next to him, I would imagine that was Johnny Manziel's girlfriend.
Well, maybe
for the day.
Maybe Diego gave up women like Blaze did, his backup.
Possibly.
Remember? Because that's how he got better at football. He gave up women.
I will give Brian Kelly credit. In his post-game press conference, they set him up to like go off because it was like, you knew the game plan was going to be Diego Pavia. Like, why couldn't you stop him? And to Brian Kelly's credit, he gave major props. He didn't get elevated. It was almost like they gave him a statin or something before he walked in there just so he'd be calmed down.
He didn't take the bait?
No.
He's locked in like Landrum was earlier.
One of our listeners just texted in that Pavia had like 24 family members in town.
Well, I mean, it's a big home game for them. That's not surprising. Okay. I did see that in the video you were talking about. That would be a fun
group to hang out with.
Of the post-game press conference, or on the field with him, immediately cut to Diego Pavia's mom after he got done with his interview on the field.
Well, hey, remember in the Alabama game, that was setting up big time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was going to be like Pavia makes a great play, his mom. Pavia, his mom. Pavia, his mom.
Like Ty Simpson and his dad on Saturday?
Yes, or like when Nico's dad, Nico Sr., last year in Knoxville. That's kind of their routine now. They find the parents, and whoever's got the hot hand, that's where they're going to. Yeah.
They even panned to Mark Sears' mom in the stands on Saturday.
Did they? I don't remember that.
Was she doing her free throw?
She just happened to
her
be
free
there.
throw routine.
No, she was doing her Connor Talty, trying to swing her leg through the ball.
Hey, whatever we can get at this point, I'll take it.
All right, we will continue on. Bill Clark at 1, Coach Hugh Freeze at 1:30. This is Reaction Monday on Jocks. Ten minutes away from talking to Bill Clark and his thoughts. A very interesting weekend of college football. 1:30, we'll go down to Auburn, listen to Hugh Freeze' weekly press conference. If you remember last week, a lot of fireworks, a lot of really interesting questions asked of Hugh Freeze, and we'll see if that continues on today. For more than 4 decades, Alabama Professional Services, they have been your trusted choice for pest control, termite protection, lawn care, fertilization, and more. They're certified statewide teams at APS. They're experts. They're very friendly, efficient, and reliable. Call them today at 205-951-9717. Whether you're looking to safeguard your home from pests and keep your lawn healthy during the offseason, APS can deliver these solutions backed by dependable customer service. Call them today, 205-951-9717. Been around since 1977. They're local. They're ready to help you today. Go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com, or call them at 205-951-9717.
Somebody texted me and said we need Brent Musburger calling all Pavia games.
Oh, wow.
That's funny. 800-239-WJOX. Let's go to our buddy Dave. He's in Hoover. Hey, Dave.
Hey guys, if I'm Auburn, I'd probably go ahead and cut bait now. I know a couple of weeks ago I said you need to hang on a little bit, but after looking at their numbers, I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. He's an offensive guy too. Durkin is the guy that I think is going to get a head coaching job down the road. I would get rid of Freeze now. I would promote Durkin. Here's two things that's going to happen. I think Auburn may have some issues at the end of the year. If they wait till the end of the year, even if you bring somebody in that's worthy, that may be in the fight for a playoff spot or whatever, it's going to be hard for them to come immediately. You've got a 30-day window after that for recruiting and trying to keep people on board. I'm going ahead and promoting DJ Durkin right now as the interim coach. If he does well, you may have your coach. If he doesn't do well, you don't have to worry about losing him. He'll stay as your defensive coordinator. And also, I heard on the Sports Talk radio show this morning that they think that Shane Beamer's going to end up at Virginia Tech. They think 1 year left on his contract at Carolina. He's going to step away. He's going to resign, and he's going to take the Virginia Tech job.
Interesting. I'm glad you brought up DJ Durkin because that was a name that I was told prior to this season that the Auburn folks really, really like. And he's done a great job with the defense.
Sample size on the guy. You give him 6 weeks. You know, if it works out, then you step right into recruiting and you don't lose anything. Otherwise, even if you bring in somebody like a Lane Kiffin, I'm just hypothetically, you're going to end up losing recruits. It happens every time. Then you got to go out and you got to rape the transfer portal again.
Yeah. I know you're just bringing him up as an example. I do not expect Lane Kiffin's name to be mentioned, if at all, like it was last time when there was a job opening.
I don't think he'll take the Florida job. I do not think he'll take the Florida job.
I don't either.
I saw that little video where his daughter and her friend came in his office before the Auburn deal came up a couple years ago, and he decided that, yeah, this is where I need to be. I think I'm going to stay. Plus, he's got a son that's a quarterback, right, at Oxford High School?
Yeah, he won a big game Friday night. Matter of fact, his son threw a last-second touchdown pass for Oxford High Schools. They won a big game. Mm-hmm.
They played Tupelo?
I don't know if he's on that. I don't know if he's on that Lane Kiffin level as a quarterback. I mean, bringing a kid in as a quarterback, and he's, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I'd be surprised if he takes that Florida job. And I think Auburn, with a reputation of changing coaches every 3 years, that could be problematic for them. We'll see. But look, SEC's better when Auburn is relevant. That's for damn sure. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dave. We appreciate it. I don't think the 3 years that discourages many coaches. I think they know at this point, what's the guarantee? What am I making per year? What's the collective and what's my guarantee?
I mean, don't forget that Hugh Freeze was damaged goods when he was hired at Auburn, and they got a significant discount with Hugh Freeze. Hence the reason why his buyout's only $15 million right now. I mean, you're not looking at James Franklin, Mike Norvell type money here, or Brian Kelly. Like I said, I mean, he's obviously got the support of some very heavy hitters at Auburn, or he would not be having a press conference in 30 minutes. Bill Clark, former UAB head coach, he will join us next, get his feelings over a very exciting weekend of college football. The UAB Blazers get a big win as Alex Mortensen, the interim head coach of the Blazers, get a big win against a top 25 opponent. We'll get Bill's thoughts on the Auburn situation. All that straight ahead. This is Three Man Front on Reaction Monday.